Little Mia stood at the busy street corner, her small hand clutching the worn strap of her school bag. The sun was setting, painting the sky with orange and pink colors. The city was loud with cars rushing by, people walking fast, and the noise of everyday life. But Mia was quiet, watching the road carefully. She was waiting for a taxi. Mia was only 8 years old, but she was very brave. She had been told many times to be careful and never get into a car with strangers. But today was different. Today, Mia's mother had promised to send a taxi to pick her up after school and take her home. Mia's heart was filled with hope because she wanted to see her mother. It had been a long time since they were together. The street corner where Mia stood was busy with many cars and people. Some people smiled at her, some were too busy to notice. Mia looked down the street, hoping to see the yellow taxi that her mother said would come. Her eyes searched every car, every driver. After a few minutes, Mia felt a little scared. The taxi was late. She wondered if something had gone wrong. She looked around, trying to decide what to do. She was afraid to walk alone because she did not know the city well. Just then, a black car stopped beside the sidewalk. It was a shiny, new car. The driver's window rolled down, and a man inside called, "Do you need a ride, little one?" Mia looked at the man with wide eyes. The car looked very different from a taxi. It was clean and quiet, not yellow like a taxi. But Mia thought maybe this was the taxi her mother had called. She nodded and climbed inside quickly. The man in the car was surprised but did not say anything. He drove slowly, looking at Mia through the rearview mirror. Mia smiled nervously, holding her bag close. She said, "My mom sent a taxi to pick me up. Is this the taxi?" The man smiled gently and said, "No, this is not a taxi. I'm sorry. But where do you want to go?" Mia said, "I want to go home, to see my mom." The man's name was Tom. He was a serious man in his 40s who worked very hard. He was the CEO of a big company and had many important things to do. Normally, he did not like surprises. But when he saw Mia, he felt something soft inside his heart. "Where is your home?" Tom asked kindly. Mia gave him the address, a place not very far from the city. Tom decided to help her. He could see she was tired and scared. The city was big and sometimes dangerous for a little girl alone. So, he started driving toward her home. During the ride, Mia looked around the car with curiosity. The inside of the car was clean and smelled nice. There was soft music playing quietly. Tom tried to make her comfortable. "Do you go to school every day?" Tom asked. "Yes," Mia replied. "I like school, but sometimes I miss my mom." Tom nodded. "It is hard to be away from people you love." Mia smiled shyly. "I want to see my mom soon." Tom looked at her carefully. There was something special about this little girl. She was full of hope, but also sadness. He wanted to know more about her story but did not want to scare her. The city passed by outside the window, but inside the car, it was quiet and calm. Mia felt safe. She told Tom small stories about her school, her favorite books, and her dreams of being a teacher one day. Tom listened, surprised at how much Mia talked. After a while, Tom asked gently, "Do you live with your mom now?" Mia looked out the window and said, "No, I live with my grandmother. My mom works far away. Sometimes she calls me on the phone, but I want to see her." Tom felt a little sad for Mia. He knew how hard it was to be separated from someone you loved. The thought stayed with him quietly. Suddenly, Mia asked, "Why do you drive such a big car? Do you work as a taxi driver?" Tom laughed softly. "No, I don't drive taxis. I work in an office, and this car is mine. It's not a taxi." Mia thought for a moment and then said, "But it feels like a special taxi." Thank you for helping me. Tom smiled again, feeling warmth inside. You are welcome, Mia. As they reached the address Mia gave, Tom stopped the car in front of a small house with a garden full of colorful flowers. Mia's eyes brightened. She looked happy to be home. Thank you for the ride, Mia said quietly. She opened the door and looked back at Tom. I hope I can say thank you properly one day. Tom nodded. Maybe we will meet again, Mia. Take care of yourself. Mia waved goodbye and walked toward the house. Tom watched her go, feeling a strange feeling he could not explain. That night, Tom could not stop thinking about the little girl who thought his car was a taxi. Her smile, her stories, and her hope stayed with him. Something in his life felt different now, like fate had sent Mia to him for a reason. The city was quiet now, but Tom's mind was full of questions. Who was Mia really? Why did she live away from her mother? And why did he feel that this meeting was just the beginning of something important? As Tom turned off his car and looked up at the stars, he felt a small spark of hope that maybe, just maybe, life was about to change for both him and the little girl who had trusted a stranger's car like a taxi. The next morning, Tom woke up with the image of the little girl in his mind. Mia's bright eyes, her soft voice, and her stories stayed with him longer than he expected. Normally, his days were filled with meetings, reports, and phone calls. But today, something inside him made him want to check on Mia. He decided to visit the address Mia had given him, the small house with colorful flowers in the garden. When he arrived, Tom stood for a moment, looking at the door. He could see a woman through the window, working quietly inside. Tom took a deep breath and knocked on the door. The woman opened it slowly. She was in her early 30s, with tired eyes but a kind smile. Her name was Sarah. Hello, I'm Tom, he said gently. I met Mia yesterday. I was driving when she got in my car by mistake. Sarah looked surprised but quickly invited him inside. Please, come in, she said. Mia was very excited when she got home last night. Tom stepped inside the small house. It was cozy and full of family photos. He saw pictures of Mia as a baby and a woman who looked very much like Sarah. The walls were warm with memories. I wanted to make sure Mia is safe, Tom said honestly. She seemed very brave, but also a little scared. Sarah nodded. Thank you. Mia is a strong girl. But it's not always easy for her. I work long hours to support her, and sometimes I cannot be there as much as I want. Tom listened carefully. He felt a quiet respect for Sarah and the hard life she led. Would you like me to help in any way? He asked. I know I don't know Mia well yet, but I want to be there for her. Sarah looked at Tom with surprise. That is very kind of you. But I don't know if Mia is ready for more people in her life right now. Tom understood. I just want what is best for her. If you ever want to talk, I'm here. After a moment, Sarah smiled softly. Thank you, Tom. Tom left the house with a thoughtful heart. On his way back, he kept thinking about Mia and Sarah. There was something familiar about the family, something he could not explain yet. Later that day, Tom was back in his office, but his mind was not on work. He kept looking at his phone, wondering if he should call Mia's mother. He didn't even know if Sarah was her mother. Just then, his assistant knocked on the door. Tom, there's a call for you. It's from a woman named Sarah. Tom felt a quick beat in his chest. Put her through, please. When Sarah's voice came through the speaker, Tom felt a little nervous. Hello, Tom. I wanted to thank you again for your kindness. Mia talks about you a lot. Tom smiled. I'm glad. I want to be a positive part of her life, if you'll let me. Sarah hesitated. There's something you should know. She is your daughter. Tom was silent for a moment. The words surprised him but also explained so much. The little girl who got into his car was his daughter. The daughter he never knew he had. How? Tom asked quietly. Sarah explained, years ago, we were together. You didn't know about Mia because I didn't want to trouble you. I raised her alone. But now, Mia deserves to know her father. Tom's heart was full of many emotions: shock, joy, guilt, hope. He realized how much he had missed in the years he was away. I want to be there for Mia, Tom said firmly. I want to meet her, get to know her, and be her father. Sarah was silent for a moment, then she said, let's take it slow. Mia needs time, and so do I. Tom agreed. Thank you for trusting me. The call ended, but Tom's mind was full of plans and questions. How would Mia feel knowing he was her father? How would he prove he could be part of her life? The road ahead was unknown, but for the first time in many years, Tom felt ready to take a step toward family. That evening, Tom drove to the park near Mia's school. He wanted to see her again, but not scare her. From a distance, he watched as Mia played with other children, her laughter bright and free. Suddenly, Mia looked up and saw the black car parked nearby. She smiled and waved. Tom waved back, his heart swelling with warmth. After a moment, Mia ran to the car and opened the door. Can you take me to the ice cream shop? She asked eagerly. Tom nodded with a smile. Of course. As they drove, Mia told Tom about her favorite ice cream flavor and the stories she made up about the clouds in the sky. Tom listened carefully, feeling the bond between them grow stronger. I'm glad I met you, Mia, Tom said softly. You're very special. Mia looked at him with trust. Thank you for driving me yesterday. I thought your car was a taxi. Tom laughed gently. Well, maybe it is a special taxi after all. They both smiled, knowing this was just the beginning of a new journey, one filled with love, hope, and many chances to learn and grow together. Tom sat alone in his office late at night, the city lights twinkling outside the window. His mind was busy with thoughts about Mia, the little girl who had accidentally gotten into his car, and now, his daughter. He held a small photo Mia had given him, her smile shining brightly even in the picture. Something deep inside him was stirring. He remembered the days from long ago when he was younger, full of dreams, and in love with a woman named Sarah. Life had been simpler then, but also harder in many ways. They had plans to build a future together, but things changed quickly. Tom had to leave the city for work, and they lost contact. He never knew Sarah was pregnant. Now, holding the photo, Tom wondered about all the moments he had missed: Mia's first steps, her first words, her birthdays. His heart ached with regret, but also hope. He wanted to make things right, but he knew it would not be easy. The next day, Tom decided to visit the hospital where Mia was born. He wanted answers to understand more about the past and maybe find clues about Sarah and Mia's life. The hospital was old but clean. Tom spoke with the nurse at the reception, showing her Mia's birth date. After some searching, she brought a file. Tom's hands trembled slightly as he opened it. Inside were photos and papers, proof of the life he never knew he had. Looking at the file, Tom saw a picture of Sarah holding a tiny baby. The baby had big eyes and a small nose just like Mia. Tom's heart raced. He could almost hear the baby's quiet cries and Sarah's soft voice. Tom left the hospital with a new feeling: the past was no longer a mystery. Mia was truly his daughter. The thought made his chest feel heavy, but also filled him with determination. He had to be there for her now, no matter what. Back at home, Tom thought about the day he first met Mia. Her stories, her laughter, and even her fears. He realized that Mia needed more than just a father's presence, she needed love, patience, and understanding. Later that week, Tom asked Sarah if they could meet again. This time, he wanted to talk honestly about the past and the future. Sarah agreed, though she seemed cautious. They met in a small cafe, quiet and comfortable. Sarah looked at Tom with careful eyes. "It's been a long time," she said softly. "Yes," Tom replied. "Too long. I'm sorry for everything I missed. I want to be part of Mia's life now." Sarah nodded. "Mia is a good girl, Tom. She's been through a lot. I hope you understand how hard it is for her to trust someone new." Tom agreed. "I want to earn that trust, step by step. Not just for Mia, but for you too." Sarah smiled faintly. "Thank you. That means a lot." As they talked, Tom learned more about Sarah's life. She had worked hard to raise Mia alone, facing many challenges. But she also spoke of the happy moments: Mia's first day of school, the times they played in the park, the small victories. Tom realized how much Sarah loved Mia, and how much she had sacrificed. He promised himself he would respect Sarah and support her in every way he could. The next day, Tom invited Mia to his office. He wanted to show her a different side of his life, the place where he worked and made decisions. Mia was excited but a little shy. When she arrived, Tom showed her around. The office was big and full of people working on computers, talking on phones, and making plans. Mia's eyes grew wide with wonder. "This is where I work," Tom explained. "It's not as fun as playing outside, but it's important." Mia smiled. "Do you like your work?" Tom nodded. "Sometimes. But today, my favorite part is having you here." Mia giggled and held Tom's hand. For a moment, they forgot about the world outside, just a father and his daughter, sharing a simple, happy moment. Days passed, and Tom spent more time with Mia. They went to the park, read books, and shared meals. Mia began to trust him more, laughing freely and asking questions. One afternoon, Mia asked, "Why did you leave us, Dad?" Tom felt his heart tighten. He knew this question would come one day. He knelt down to her level and looked into her eyes. "I didn't know you were my daughter until recently. I'm sorry I wasn't there. But now, I want to make up for lost time." Mia nodded slowly. "I'm glad you are here now." Tom hugged her gently. "Me too, Mia. Me too." That night, Tom sat by the window again, thinking about the journey ahead. There would be hard days, moments of doubt, and challenges to face. But there would also be hope, love, and the chance to build a family. For the first time in many years, Tom felt that the future was bright, not just for him, but for Mia and Sarah too. They had been given a second chance, and he was determined to make it count. As the stars shone outside, Tom whispered quietly, "Welcome home, Mia. We will find our way together." The days after Tom's visit to the hospital and meeting with Sarah felt like a whirlwind. Tom's life, once so predictable and focused only on work, suddenly became full of questions and emotions. He could not stop thinking about Mia, his daughter, and how much her life had been shaped without him. One morning, Tom sat at his desk staring at his phone. The number Sarah had called from was still saved. He hesitated, then dialed. "Hello, Sarah," he said when she answered softly. "Hello, Tom," Sarah replied. "I was hoping you'd call." Tom took a deep breath. "I want to know everything. About Mia, about you, about the past. I want to understand." Sarah was quiet for a moment. Then she spoke slowly. "It wasn't easy, Tom. When I found out I was pregnant, I was scared. You were young, and life was difficult. I didn't want to trouble you. I thought I could do it alone." Tom listened carefully, feeling a mix of sadness and respect for Sarah's strength. "I worked hard to give Mia a good life," Sarah continued. "But sometimes, it was lonely. I never stopped thinking about you, though." Tom's heart ached. I'm sorry I wasn't there. But I want to change that now. Sarah sighed softly. I want that too. But Mia doesn't know everything yet. She thinks you're just a kind man who helped her when she needed a ride. I want to protect her feelings. Tom nodded, understanding her caution. We will take it slow. I just want to be part of her life. They talked a little more, sharing hopes and worries. Tom felt closer to Sarah than before, and he realized that reconnecting with her was an important step for all three of them. After the call, Tom decided to visit an old friend who worked as a family counselor. He wanted advice on how to build a good relationship with Mia and Sarah. The counselor listened patiently and told Tom, the key is patience and honesty. Mia needs to feel safe and loved, without pressure. Give her time and space to accept you. Tom promised himself he would do just that. The following weekend, Tom invited Mia and Sarah to his home for lunch. It was a small, quiet house with a garden full of flowers. Tom hoped this visit would bring them closer. Mia was shy at first. She held Sarah's hand tightly as they stepped inside. Tom smiled warmly and showed them around. He had even prepared Mia's favorite meal, spaghetti with tomato sauce. As they ate, Mia began to relax. She told Tom about her school, her favorite subjects, and the friends she played with. Sarah watched silently, happy to see Mia smile. After lunch, Tom showed Mia his garden. There were roses, tulips, and daisies blooming in bright colors. Mia knelt down to smell the flowers. This is beautiful, she said softly. Tom smiled. I want you to feel at home here, Mia. Mia looked up at him. Maybe one day, I can come here to play. Tom's heart swelled with hope. That afternoon, Tom found an old photo album. He showed Mia pictures of himself and Sarah when they were young. Mia's eyes grew wide as she looked at the smiling faces. Is this you and Mom? She asked. Yes, Tom said gently. We were young then. Mia touched the photos carefully. I didn't know you before. Tom nodded. Now you do. And I want to learn everything about you too. Days turned into weeks, and Tom spent more time with Mia and Sarah. He tried to be patient and understanding, knowing that trust took time. One evening, Mia asked Tom to tell her a story. Tom smiled and began a simple tale about a brave little girl who found her way through a big city. As he spoke, he noticed Mia's eyes shining with wonder. After the story, Mia hugged Tom tightly. I'm glad you are my dad, she said softly. Tom's eyes filled with tears. And I'm glad you are my daughter. But not everything was easy. Sarah sometimes worried about how fast things were moving. She wanted to protect Mia's feelings and make sure no one got hurt. One day, Sarah said to Tom, Mia asks a lot of questions about you. I think it's time to tell her the truth. Tom agreed. Yes, she deserves to know. That night, Sarah sat with Mia in her room. Mia, she began gently, there's something important I want to tell you. The man you met, Tom, he is your father. Mia looked surprised. My father? But why didn't you tell me before? Sarah explained softly, I wanted to protect you. But now, it's time you know. Mia was quiet for a moment, then smiled. I'm happy to know. I like him. He's kind. Sarah hugged Mia. We will figure this out together. The next day, Mia went to Tom's office with a big smile. I want to tell everyone that you are my dad. Tom laughed. Let's take it one step at a time. Together, they faced a new beginning, one filled with hope, challenges, and the promise of a family growing stronger every day. The morning sun shone gently through the windows of Tom's house. Mia woke up feeling excited. Today was a special day. She was going to spend the whole day with Tom, her new dad. The thought made her heart beat fast with happiness and a little nervousness. Tom was already awake, preparing breakfast in the kitchen. When Mia came down, she smiled brightly. "Good morning, Dad." Tom looked up and smiled warmly. "Good morning, Mia. Ready for our day?" Mia nodded eagerly. "Yes. Can we go to the park and then get ice cream?" Tom laughed. "That sounds like a perfect plan." As they left the house, Tom felt a new kind of joy. His life had changed in ways he never expected. The busy CEO world seemed less important compared to the simple moment walking beside his daughter, holding her small hand. The park was filled with children running and playing. Mia's eyes sparkled as she ran towards the swings. Tom watched her, feeling proud and grateful. After some time, they sat on a bench and talked quietly. "Mia," Tom said gently, "I want you to know that I will always be here for you. No matter what." Mia looked up at him and smiled. "I know, Dad. I'm happy you are here now." Tom's heart melted. He realized that being a father was more than just a title. It was about love, patience, and being present. Later, they went to the ice cream shop Mia loved. She chose her favorite flavor, chocolate with sprinkles. Tom bought a small cone of vanilla. As they ate, Mia told Tom stories about her friends, school, and dreams. Tom listened carefully, wanting to remember every word. That evening, Sarah joined them for dinner. The three sat together around the table, sharing food and laughter. It was the first time they felt like a real family. After dinner, Sarah said quietly, "Thank you for being patient and kind with Mia. It means a lot." Tom nodded. "I want to be the father Mia deserves. And I want to support you too, Sarah." Sarah smiled softly. "I hope this is just the beginning." The days that followed were filled with small moments, Tom helping Mia with her homework, playing games, and going for walks. Each day, their bond grew stronger. But Tom also knew that building a family was not always easy. Mia sometimes missed the quiet life she had before. Sarah worried about the future. One afternoon, Mia asked Tom, "Dad, will we always be together?" Tom hugged her gently. "Yes, Mia. We will always be together. You are my daughter, and I will never leave you." Mia smiled and rested her head on his shoulder. Tom realized that their journey was just beginning. There would be challenges, but also many happy memories to make. One weekend, Tom took Mia and Sarah on a picnic near the lake. They laughed, played games, and watched the sunset together. Mia's laughter echoed across the water, filling Tom's heart with joy. That night, as Mia slept peacefully, Tom thought about the future. He knew he had to balance his work and family life better. Mia and Sarah were his new priorities. The next morning, Tom made a decision. He called a meeting at work and announced he would take some time off to focus on his family. His team was surprised but supportive. Tom felt relief. Now he could give Mia and Sarah the attention they deserved. Weeks passed, and the family grew closer every day. Mia's school reports showed improvement. She smiled more and talked about her dad with pride. Sarah saw a change in Mia too. The little girl who once felt lonely now felt loved and secure. One day, Mia said, "Mom, I'm glad Dad is here. I feel happy." Sarah hugged her tightly. "Me too, Mia. Me too." Tom watched them with gratitude. Life had given him a second chance, a chance to be the father he never knew he could be. He promised himself he would never take it for granted. As the sun set, Tom stood by the window, looking at the stars. He whispered softly, "Thank you for bringing Mia into my life. We will be a family forever." And with that hope, Tom closed his eyes, ready to face whatever the future held, knowing that love had the power to change everything. Life had settled into a new rhythm for Tom, Mia, and Sarah. The mornings were filled with laughter and warm hugs, while the evenings brought quiet moments of reflection. Yet, despite the happiness, Tom knew that building a family after so many years apart wouldn't be without its challenges. One morning, Tom woke early and looked out at the city waking up. He thought about the promises he had made to Mia and Sarah, and he felt a strong determination to be a good father and partner. At work, things were busy, but Tom was learning how to balance his time better. He often left the office early to be with Mia, attend school events, or help with homework. Mia was growing closer to Tom every day. She loved telling her friends about her dad, the man who had once been a stranger but was now her hero. But even with the happiness, Mia sometimes felt confused. The idea of having two homes, one with her mother and one with Tom, was new and strange. One afternoon, Mia sat quietly at the kitchen table, looking at her homework but not really seeing the words. Sarah noticed and asked gently, "What's wrong, Mia?" Mia sighed. "I don't know if I can do all this. Sometimes, I feel tired. And sometimes, I miss the way things were." Sarah smiled softly and took her hand. "It's okay to feel that way. Change is hard, but you're very brave. We're here for you." Mia nodded, feeling comforted. "I want to be brave." Tom came into the room just then and sat beside Mia. "You are brave, Mia. Every day you show courage. And we'll face everything together." Mia looked at him with trust. "Will you always be here?" "Always," Tom promised. That evening, Tom and Sarah talked quietly in the living room. "Mia is adjusting well, but I worry she's overwhelmed," Sarah said. "Maybe we need to take things slower." Tom nodded thoughtfully. "I don't want to rush her. Family isn't about time, it's about love." They agreed to give Mia more space, allowing her to grow comfortable at her own pace. But the challenges weren't only at home. At work, Tom faced pressure from business rivals and demanding projects. Sometimes, the stress made him forget the promises he had made. One day, Mia called him on the phone, her voice soft. "Dad, can you come to my school play tomorrow? I want you to see me." Tom looked at his busy calendar. It was packed with meetings and deadlines. But then he thought about Mia's small voice and her hopeful words. He made a decision. "Yes, Mia. I'll be there." The next day, Tom sat quietly in the school auditorium, watching Mia perform on stage. She sang with confidence and smiled brightly when she saw him in the crowd. At that moment, Tom knew he had made the right choice. After the play, Mia ran into his arms. "Thank you for coming, Dad." Tom hugged her tightly. "I wouldn't miss it for the world." Days passed, and the family faced new challenges, disagreements, misunderstandings, and moments of doubt. But through it all, they learned to listen, to forgive, and to support one another. One evening, after a small argument about Mia's bedtime, Sarah and Tom sat down to talk. "We need to be united," Sarah said. "Mia looks to us for guidance." Tom agreed. "We must be patient and consistent. Family takes work." They promised to communicate better and to put Mia's needs first. Meanwhile, Mia was learning how to express her feelings more clearly. She told her parents when she was scared, happy, or confused. And they listened. One afternoon, Mia said quietly, "I'm glad I have two homes now, one with Mom and one with Dad." Tom smiled. "And you have two people who love you very much." Mia hugged him tightly. "I love you, Dad." Tom's eyes filled with tears. "I love you too, Mia." As weeks turned into months, their bond grew stronger. They celebrated birthdays, holidays, and small victories together. Mia's laughter filled the house, and the walls echoed with love. Tom realized that being a father was about more than providing money or gifts. It was about presence, care, and being a safe place for Mia to grow. Sarah saw a change in Tom too. The man who once lived only for work now lived for family. She felt grateful for this new chapter in their lives. One day, Sarah surprised Tom with a small gift, a photo album filled with pictures of Mia's first years and their recent moments together. Tom looked through it, feeling tears of joy. "Thank you," he said softly. "This means everything to me." Sarah smiled. "We're building memories together." That night, Tom sat by the window again, looking at the stars. He whispered, "Thank you for this family. For second chances and new beginnings." He knew the road ahead would have ups and downs, but with courage, love, and patience, they could face anything. And so, with hearts full of hope, Tom, Mia, and Sarah stepped into the future, ready to write the next chapters of their story. The months had passed quickly, and life was settling into a beautiful new normal for Tom, Mia, and Sarah. The three of them were learning to live as a family, slowly but surely building trust and love day by day. One sunny morning, Tom woke early and looked out of his window at the busy city below. He smiled softly, thinking about how much had changed in his life. From the moment Mia stepped into his car by mistake, to now, where she was his daughter in every way that mattered. Tom had taken time away from work to focus on his family, and he did not regret it. The laughter in his house, the warmth in their hearts, these were the true treasures of life. That day, Tom planned a special surprise for Mia. He had arranged a small picnic in the park where they first spent time together. It was a place filled with memories, the place where their new journey had truly begun. When Mia and Sarah arrived, Tom greeted them with a big smile. "Ready for a fun day?" he asked. Mia's eyes sparkled. "Yes." "What's the surprise?" Tom laughed. "You'll see." They walked to a quiet spot under a big old tree. Tom had prepared Mia's favorite snacks, a blanket, and even brought a small kite for them to fly. As they settled on the grass, Mia looked around happily. "This is perfect, Dad." Tom smiled warmly. "I'm glad you like it." They spent the afternoon playing games, flying the kite, and telling stories. Mia's laughter filled the air like music. After a while, Tom said softly, "Mia, there is something important I want to ask you." Mia looked up curiously. Tom took a deep breath. "Would you like to live with me? I want us to be a family, all together every day." Mia's eyes grew wide. She thought for a moment, then smiled brightly. "Yes. I want that." Sarah watched quietly, feeling a mix of happiness and relief. She knew this was the best choice for Mia. Tom turned to Sarah. "Are you okay with this?" Sarah nodded. "I am." Mia will have both of us in her life, no matter what. From that day forward, Mia began spending most of her time at Tom's house. The transition was not always easy, but with patience and love, Mia grew more comfortable and confident. Tom and Sarah worked together to support Mia, sharing responsibilities and decisions. They became a team, united by their love for Mia. One evening, as they sat around the dinner table, Mia said quietly, "I'm happy. I feel like I have a family now." Tom reached out and held her hand. "You always had a family, Mia. We just had to find each other." Sarah smiled warmly. "And we will always be here for you." The days turned into weeks, and the weeks into months. Mia's schoolwork improved, and she made new friends. She talked about her parents proudly and dreamed about the future. Tom felt proud and grateful. He had learned so much about being a father, about patience, kindness, and the power of love. One weekend, Tom took Mia and Sarah to visit a small garden he had found nearby. It was quiet and full of blooming flowers. They walked slowly, enjoying the fresh air and each other's company. Mia stopped to pick a bright yellow flower. She looked up at Tom. "Thank you for everything, Dad." Tom smiled and hugged her. "Thank you for giving me a chance." As the sun set, they sat on a bench, watching the sky turn colors of orange and pink. Sarah leaned on Tom's shoulder. "We have a good life now." Tom nodded. "Yes. A better life. That night, Tom wrote in his journal. He wrote about the journey, the mistakes, the hopes, the love. He knew the road ahead would still have challenges, but he was ready. Because now, he was not alone. He had Mia, his daughter, his greatest gift. He had Sarah, the woman who had kept their family alive. And most importantly, he had hope, a future full of promise and happiness. Tom closed his journal and looked out the window. The stars were shining bright, just like Mia's smile. He whispered softly, "Thank you for bringing us together. We are family forever." And with that, Tom felt peace. The past was behind them, and the future was theirs to create, hand in hand, heart to heart.